Was in the legislature. It was 16 years from 1978 to 1994 when I ran for governor.
You were 2 times running for governor, almost won, and I think that was a 6,000 vote that you missed. You also challenged that, and I'm sure that you can see today some of the fraud that is about to happen in our country and the dire consequences of all of that.
Well, I would say that anyone that thinks election fraud doesn't happen has their head buried in the sand or is listening to media lies. Heritage Foundation has documented fraud all over this country, and I am very concerned about the mail-in ballots that are being, in many states, are being just mailed out to every registered voter when we know that there are hundreds of thousands of people on the rolls around the country who are dead or have moved and should not be getting these ballots. So what's going to happen? Is someone going to collect them and bring them in and try to pass them off as legal votes? It's very, very great concern, and it is well documented.
And also Judge Ginsburg, if they don't fill that seat and there's some type of tie, we could have a real crisis in this country.
Well,
constitutional crisis.
I'm afraid where this election is going. The Biden campaign has an army of lawyers all over the country prepared in every state to challenge the election. If the election is close on election night, we will not know who won. And the objective is going to be to drag this out with legal challenges and just keep it going, recounting. California, some people might remember in the last election, Republicans had 4 congressional seats that were won on election night. And California allows something called ballot harvesting, which means that political operatives can go around and collect ballots from wherever they can manage to collect them. And they were bringing them in truckloads after the election. And those 4 candidates who had won on election night all somehow strangely lost the election. This is what I'm afraid we're going to see happen with this election. And if it gets challenged for days, weeks, months, we are going to have chaos in this country because people are going to be very upset that we don't know who our president is, and it could ultimately, and this is, I think, the direction that the Democrats would like to see, it could ultimately go to the House of Representatives, where Nancy Pelosi would become the acting president, not the final president, and then it would go to the Supreme Court. And if we have not filled Justice Ginsburg's seat by that time, we have a 4-4 breakdown in the court. So it really is very important that that seat be filled and that we not be intimidated by the threats of violence if the president puts forth a nominee as he is constitutionally required to do.